Something is happening at Arsenal. Look, Mikel Arteta would have been waiting for this moment. This could be the difference between Arsenal winning the league and Arsenal not winning the league. This is genuinely that important. But make sure you stick around till the end, because in this video, this is the one where I give you my Premier League predictions. I've picked out 6 sections that I think we can have some fun with. And if you want some spoilers, look, last season when I give my predictions, I actually done quite well. So if you want to know what happens in the Premier League this season, make sure you stick around for that. Before we get into the video though, you know the drill. My name is Jed, and if you could help me out, please, by just hitting like and subscribe on this channel. So this video is an interesting one. Look, I want to start with a quick question though, because I think there's 2 huge questions that Mikel Arteta has to answer if we're going to do well this season. The first one is, what's he going to do with that back line? We've got basically every single player fit this season, apart from Gabriel Jesus. We've got Trossard coming back into the team. So Mikel Arteta must be looking at it and thinking, oh my God, I've got every player to choose from. But I want to ask you guys, what would you do with that back line? Right back, do you go Ben White or Jurriën Timber? And left back, do you go Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly? And up front, do you go Gyökeres or Havertz? This is what is so interesting. I'm going to start with a striking position, because the way I'm looking at it is, you have to start Gyokeres in this game. Like I said, we've bought the striker. He scored in the last game. Please don't kill that momentum. Look, I'm not saying I dislike Havertz, or I would even be surprised if Havertz start this game. But for me, it's just like, if we want to be different to last season, then I think we need to do something different. We've gone out there and secured the striker, so please just use him in this game. But Mikel Arteta has a habit of, when he brings a new player in, and there's already players playing in his position that's doing quite well, and regardless of what you think of Havertz, whether you think he's good enough, whether I think he's good enough, he is still performing quite well. So will he think, right, no, this is still Havertz's position until Gyökeres pries it away from him? Because look, if Gyökeres scored in that last game, the pre-season game against Atletico Bilbao, and Havertz didn't, I would be way more confident in Gyökeres starting. But the way Havertz took that goal, no one can tell me that wasn't an impressive goal. It was kind of like Havertz scored the Gyökeres goal, and Gyökeres kind of scored a bit more of a Havertz goal. People like to say Gyökeres isn't good in the air. Havertz is okay in the air, so maybe that was more of a Havertz goal. But the one where Havertz was blowing past the defender and then slotting the ball into the corner, that was what you would expect from Victor Gyökeres. That's what we missed from last season, and I still think Gyökeres is the right guy to produce those moments. Look, Havertz obviously can do it as well, and I think we're blessed with 2 decent strikers. But they are different worlds, in my opinion. Gyökeres is that focal point, is that number 9 that we've been crying out for. We all know, or a lot of us know that, or think that Havertz is a good player. He offers things to this Arsenal team that are crucial for the way that Mikel Arteta likes to play. I like Havertz. Not everyone does, but I appreciate what he does. But this is where you need to look at him and say, we've brought this striker in for a reason. We have pinpointed Gyökeres because he's the guy that's going to take us to the title. So there's no need to kind of try and blend him into the squad slowly, allow Havertz to not feel like he's being taken over and losing that position. You have to be cutthroat if you want to win the league. Look, I'm not saying I know better than Mikel Arteta. Whatever Mikel Arteta goes for, of course I'm going to back it. This is just my opinion. My opinion is, we've identified the striker. We went out there and bought the highest scoring striker in the whole of Europe. Please, can we see him? Let's see what he can do in the Premier League against Manchester United. I think United are being slightly underrated this season. I think they're going to be a good team, and we know they've got some good players. You look at that front three, and I've got a breakdown coming tomorrow or the next day about the Man United game. But you look at the front three and you have to get your defence right. They've got Cunha, Sesko, and Mbeumo. No matter what anyone tells me, those are 3 very good players. So what do you do defensively? Like I said, let me know. Do you go Timber? Do you go Ben White? Do you go Calafiori? Do you go Lewis-Skelly? I think if you go Calafiori on the left, for example, you have to go Timber on the right, because I see the attacking options as Calafiori is the attacking left back, Ben White is the attacking right back. So I think you probably have to play one or the other. And for me, I would play one or the other. This is what I would do. I would go Ben White at right back. Maybe controversial. People prefer Timber. I think Ben White's had a brilliant preseason. And like I've said previously, Ben White has been a part of the best Arsenal team when we was defensively solid and people were struggling to break us down. In my opinion, I prefer what Ben White does at right back. I think he eases the pressure on Saka because he does overload, and it just gives the fullback something to think about, so they can't double up on Saka so easy. I think Jurriën Timber's Probably slightly better defensively. I think that's fair. At times, if Ben White is caught on a one-on-one, maybe he does. People do go past him. I think in terms of aggression, though, he's very good. On set pieces, he's very good at mastering the dark arts. Like, he's very helpful at getting in the way, making it look like he's being clumsy when really he's being deliberate, and he's putting the keeper off and putting the players off, and he just causes mayhem. And no one likes to play against a player that is not just aggressive, but causes mayhem, allows mistakes to happen for these Arsenal players to jump on it. And we've seen so many times Ben White gets in the way of a keeper or just causes trouble. And I like what Ben White does. Like I said, in terms of attacking, defensively, I think he's okay as well. So that's what I would do at right back. Left back is interesting because, like I said, Calafiori, in my opinion, is the better attacking left back. I think he could help out Martinelli, but I don't think he's going to need it if Gyokeres is starting, because we saw a bit of a partnership forming with Gyokeres and Martinelli in the last game. And I think Gyokeres goes into the left channel quite a bit, so it allows Martinelli to go central. So he's not always on his left foot, which I think can benefit Martinelli as well. So for me in this game, I go Lewis-Skelly at left back. Man United are going to be playing wing back, so they're going to be flying forward. So I think I want to be defensively more sound. I think Calafiori, although I think he's better than what some people give him credit for defensively, I don't think people go past him quite as easily. Now, we've seen in the preseason, people are able to get past Calafiori. It is a part of his game that he's still developing, because he's not usually in those positions previously in his career. You know, he's been central, he's a centre-back. So being in that left channel where he's slightly more exposed, he's not got a partner right next to him, he's operating in a bigger area, there will be moments where he's got these quick wingers that are able to have a bit more space against him, show some skill or show some speed and go past him. And that's an area where I think Lewis-Skelly excels. I think it's very difficult to get past Lewis-Skelly. And it's not like he's terrible at getting forward in terms of going forward. He does like to go into the middle of the park to give us that extra option, which may just free up Odegaard. Look, it's a big season for Odegaard. And with Zubimendi now in this team, I'm hoping Martin Odegaard, let's go with the reins slightly, doesn't drop so deep, finds himself in those attacking areas. Because if not, he will be making way to Ethan Nwaneri, who will be looking to pry his way into this team. If Odegaard doesn't start this season strong, there could be a world where halfway through the season, Ethan Nwaneri has taken Odegaard's position. Now, I hope that doesn't happen because I want a big season from Odegaard. I'm not saying that I don't want Ethan Nwaneri to get into this team. I'm just saying when Odegaard is purring, I think he's unbelievable. So let me know you guys' thoughts on that left back and right back position. Also, Havertz or Gyökeres, who do you go for? Now we're going to get into my Premier League predictions. This is the part where we can have some fun. We can have some discussion because it's look, we can look back at this in 9 months' time and either laugh or say, oh my God, this guy's a genius. Some things I'm going to get right, some things I'm going to get wrong. Same as you guys. Like I said, genuinely, let me know what you go for. Like I said, these are my 6 sections, okay? So I've gone for underperforming team of the season. Make a note of that. Surprise team of the season. The first manager to be sacked. The player of the season. Top scorer. And my top 5. If top 5 get into the Champions League again, I think those are the positions where there's going to be the most competition. So those are the sections that I've picked. First of all, we're going to start with the underperforming team of the season. This is going to shock everyone. Like I said, there's going to be some shocks in this. I'll explain my thinking as I go along. So underperforming team of the season, I've gone for Liverpool. There are massive expectations on Liverpool. And before last season, look, they was very good last season. But where was they before that? Like, they kind of come out of nowhere, and it was like, look, Arsenal struggled with injuries last season. Rival fans don't like to accept that. And I'm not saying that in a bitter way where it's like, oh, you only beat us because we had injuries. Like, I'm being genuine. Like, injuries will affect the team. And if you get as many injuries as Arsenal to your key players, ultimately, you're going to drop off. You're not going to be as good. I think that's what we saw with Arsenal. Man City fell away, and it allowed a gap for Liverpool to explore. And fair play, they went out there and done it. They've improved that squad. They've broken the British transfer record once, and it looks like they're going to do it again with Isak. So the pressure is on Liverpool. When was the last time Liverpool won the title and then they didn't fall away? With Klopp, it was like they won the title, but then they fell right away because they left everything out there. I'm not saying they're going to fall right away this season, but don't be surprised if Liverpool are further back than you expect. Like I said, I've got the top 5 coming up, and it might just shock you. So my underperforming team of the season is going to be Liverpool. Let me know yours. Next, I've gone for surprise team of the season. Now, this could mean a load of different things. But for me, it's like, what am I not expecting? And the past 2 seasons, it's been 3 up, 3 down. So the teams that have come up, they've basically gone straight back down. And I'm looking at this Sunderland team, and maybe it's just because they've got Granit Xhaka, but Granit Xhaka could be that instrumental in allowing Sunderland to do the impossible almost. Teams have struggled to do it over the past 2 seasons. What makes Sunderland any different? I think with Xhaka, that is a huge signing. To pull him away from a Leverkusen team, who's not terrible, by the way. Xhaka's still one of their best players. They've pulled him back into the Premier League. What a signing. My surprise team of the season, Sunderland. Let me know yours. Now we're going for the first manager to be sacked. And this could be a number of managers. If it doesn't go right for Chelsea, Enzo Maresca could be sacked. If it doesn't go right for Man United, Ruben Amorim could find himself getting the chop. But for me, I've kind of gone for a bit of the safe bet. Leeds United, I think they're going to struggle. So Daniel Farke, I think he will be the first manager to be sacked this season. So the first manager to be sacked, I've gone Daniel Farke of Leeds. Next, player of the season. I have gone for... Actually, I'll tell you what I have to do. I have to do the top 5 because the last 2 sections are top scorer and player of the season. So if I tell you my player of the season and the top scorer, it might just give away my top 5. So let's do the top 5 first. Let me know your top 5. In 5th position, I have gone, and this is going to surprise a lot of people, Man United. People will be thinking, Man United were like 15th last season. And I hear you. Look, Man United could be rubbish, and Ruben Amorim could well be the first manager to be sacked. But I like the players they've signed. I just can't help it but appreciating the business they've done. Now, they're still weak in defence. They're still weak in midfield maybe as well. I think they do need to get Ballega. But I'm looking at Man United's attack, and it's an attack that I kind of appreciate. Like, I liked Mbeumo when he was at Brentford. I liked Cunha when he was at Wolves. We had conversations on this channel about Cunha. And of course, Sesko. I like Sesko. I've had a chat with so many people. Andy, the Zanzibarbarian. We've had conversations, many conversations about how much we appreciate Sesko and how much we would have took Sesko at Arsenal. So I can't help but admire that front three. I'm not saying it's better than Arsenal's, by the way, or even better than some of these attacks I've got coming up. But I think Man United could just push themselves into a top 5 position. So 5, I've gone United. And the top 4 is very difficult because it could finish either way. 4th, I've gone Chelsea. Now, there was a point where I was going to put Chelsea second. But for me, Chelsea, they've got good players. Do they have the same quality as a Liverpool or a Man City or an Arsenal? You probably have to say no because they haven't yet proved it. This could be the season where Chelsea surprise everyone. But for now, I think the safe bet for me is to put Chelsea at 4. And now we've got the top 3, and I think this is where everyone's going to be shocked. 3, I've got Liverpool. And you might be thinking, what? Liverpool were the favourites. And I know, I'm putting my neck on the line. My reputation could be on tatters at the end of the season, or I could just look like Mystic Mac. Because 3rd position, I'm putting Liverpool. I think they're going to drop off. I don't think they're going to be able to deal with the pressure. Like I said, when they won the league last year, the next season, they dropped back. They got lucky. Man City fell away last season. Arsenal had so many injuries. And if I'm being honest, I just don't think Liverpool are as good as people think they are. So I think they will finish 3rd this season. 2nd place, I have gone Man City. I think people are sleeping on Man City. They are still brilliant. This is still Pep Guardiola. Yes, they've lost some key players, but I don't mind the business they've done. There's rumours that they might be signing Rodrigo. They might be letting Savinho and Jack Grealish go so they can fund Rodrigo from Real Madrid. And can you imagine Rodrigo, Haaland, and who do they play on the left? Doku or Foden or they've brought in Reinders. They've brought in Ryan Cherky, who technically is unbelievable. I think Man City are going to be back in and amongst it this season. Their team is still good. The midfield will be better with Reinders in it. Their defence is the only area I look at and I think, is there room for improvement? Maybe. Is Ruben Diaz still the same player? Maybe not, but they've brought in Aït-Nouri. It looks like they might get Donnarumma as well. Can you imagine Donnarumma, Aït-Nouri, Akanji, Ruben Diaz, Vardiol? They've still got some good players. Like, compare it to Liverpool's backline. Liverpool are 1 injury away from having a terrible defence. Like, they've got Frimpong, he's basically a winger. They've got Gyökeres, who is a good player, but he's at a new club. He needs to find his feet. So 2nd position, I have gone Man City, and that leaves Arsenal as the champions. I think this is the season. Like I said, I think Liverpool are going to fall away. I think Man City are going to be our biggest contenders. And with the signing of Gyokeres. I think he will be the difference maker. But more important, maybe than anyone, is Zubimendi in the middle of the park. Look, I always liked Partey. I always said Partey is brilliant in this team and he's going to be difficult to replace. I've watched 2 or 3 games of Zubimendi. Boom, I am sold. He's an unbelievable player. He could just be better than Rodri. Am I being biased? Yes. Will I stick by that statement? Yes, because I'm an Arsenal fan. Zubimendi looks incredible, so the champions this season will be Arsenal. Now we've gone to top scorer. I've gone realistic in this. I've gone for Haaland and Gyokeres. I've gone for a joint top scorer this season of Haaland and Gyokeres. If Arsenal are going to win the league, like I said, it's because they've done something different. And Gyokeres could be that difference maker. So he has to score a bag of goals if Arsenal are going to win the league. That's just my opinion. So top scorers have been Haaland and Gyokeres. And therefore, the player of the season will be Gyokeres because he's joint top scorer and he's just fired Arsenal to their first league title in over 20 years. Let me know your thoughts on all of those categories. They are underperforming team of the season, surprise team of the season, first manager to be sacked, player of the season, top scorer, and then I want to know your top 5. Get in the comment section, get involved, because we will revisit this at the end of the season. And if anyone's able to get it right, I will give you a shout out. So thanks to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me a quick favor of just hitting like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.